Welcome to another episode of Women in Sports Unplugged. Our guests today are two cricketers, Chaitrali Kalgutkar and Annika Shivpuri. Chaitrali Kalgutkar has been attached to the game of cricket as a national player, coach, mentor, and team manager for a long time now. She is currently associated with Emirates Cricket Board, the UAE women's team, and also was involved in the women's IPL that was held recently in the Emirates. 14-year-old Annika Shivpuri is a budding cricketer. She started off as the only girl in her school cricket team. She was inducted into ECB women's cricket team 2 years ago, introduced by her then PE teacher at school, and from then on has played many domestic cricket tournaments in the UAE. She captained her side in one of the tournaments where she realized her leadership skills. She hopes to continue her love for this sport by playing more matches and improving her skill. Thank you, Annika and Chaitrali, for coming on the show. I am so excited to have the two of you here, and I'm really looking forward to this talk. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
I'm going to start by asking, this question is for both of you. What does sports mean to you? Chaitrali, I'd like you to answer that first.
For me, sports means pure passion and love towards a particular game which you would love to play. Basically, it's a platform or a pathway where a player can showcase the sporting skills that he or she has, and also it's a way where all people come together from different background, culture, and meet and understand and play the game that they love to play.
Yes, I
Uh,
think, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, it's okay.
No, I was saying what you said about the love for the game and you get to play it, the passion, but also what a great leveler sports is. People from all backgrounds and cultures come together and play and compete in the same arena. I think that point is just so amazing and which happens in the sports field that we see.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes. Annika, what does
Um,
sports mean to you?
I think it's just a place and a game where you can go and just have fun with whoever. They don't even have to be your friends because if you don't know them, you can all bond with sport because you can all play a common sport. And I think you can learn lots of stuff from sport like teamwork, leadership, and really key sort of um, attributes that are important in your daily life, which is quite important.
I think you brought out a very important point about these attributes which are important in the daily lives. We say in the corporate world, if you want to see a character of a person, you should see how that person is on a sports field, how they react when they're under stress, how are they when it comes to teamwork, especially if you play team sports. And nowadays, there are a lot of executive leadership programs that happen in the corporate world where successful sports people are coming and talking and how experience in the sports world can benefit you in your other walks of life and other professions. So I think that's a really very interesting point which Anika has said. Um, Anika, next question is for you. What do you think is the role of parents in inculcating a love for sport, and how do they help nurture this passion?
I think parents play a very important role, especially if you are someone who can't drive or anything, because they can take you to venues and take you to practice um, places. And if you didn't have your parents, then it'd be very difficult to actually play any sport or meet up with your team because you kind of are dependent on them for most of your life when you're small. And I think them supporting you by getting up early in the morning for your games and then making your lunch and stuff so you don't get tired and stuff, that's really important because without them you would really not be anywhere.
No, absolutely. I completely agree with you. And I think very few people talk about the sacrifice that the parents have to make. I mean, you said getting up early in the morning and making your lunch, packing your tiffin, driving you to the for your practice. How important is that? And they are your first. It's your first relationship, right, which you have, and how important they are to help nurture this passion. Chaitrali, you have been in a role as a mentor, as a team manager, as a coach. So, how important, we've talked about parents, which Annika spoke about. How important do you see is the role of a coach to help nurture talent, first to spot the talent and then nurture it?
So the primary role, the core role of a coach is to identify the hidden talent, in a player, because not all players are outspoken, or not. I mean, their talents are not directly visible. So it's very important for a coach to identify that initially. Um, you know, work with work with the player. Nurture the qualities of a good sports person in him or her, and develop them to become better sports persons in their life. And what I feel is, the coach not only is there to help in skills or techniques, but every player would look to a coach as a mentor, as a guide, as a guide who can always help them in their ways of developing a particular game. So a coach plays a vitally important role in a life of a player. This is what I believe.
No, I absolutely agree with you. And it's very interesting, Chaitrali, that it's not only in the field of sports, how you need a coach to guide you, even in other fields, especially in leadership roles. It's interesting. Most CEOs and managing directors of large companies have coaches who guide them.
A
So
mentor.
yes, or mentor them, and they're called leadership coaches. And I actually think that the coach has to be with you throughout your professional life. So it's such an important role that you're playing. And I'm sure Annika has also got the benefit of having a good coach. Um, Annika, you're still in school. So how do you find time to balance between school and sports? And how flexible is your school? I remember when I was growing up, sports firstly was only PT, it was physical education,
Yeah, true.
and school was only focused on the studies and the academics. Um, and I always feel that a school has a very important role to play. So please tell us about your experience with your school.
The role of school is really important, especially when you have matches and tournaments on weekends, when you have homework or exams coming up, because they let you have time off school, or they let you do those exams or tests or whatever later, and they give you more time to actually practice and prepare for your matches.
And your PE teacher had got you into the ECB team, so that must have been a big, big support for you from your school side as well.
Yeah, so that was very actually really lucky that he knew some of the people who were in the ECB kind of leagues and the development program. So when I got introduced to that and got sent to one of the training sessions, I enjoyed it a lot, and then I was really thankful because without him, I wouldn't have really found out about this.
Yeah, no, I think school plays a very important role. So Sports Village, which is the co-creator of this show, they are working with multiple schools in India, trying to inculcate this love for sport in India. I mean, Chaitrali, you also grew up in India, and you know how some of the conditions can be here, even in the schools we went to. But it's so nice to see that more and more people, more and more organizations are coming to India now and trying to inculcate this love for sport, and also to encourage schools, etc., to promote sports.
It's great
Uh,
to see, that how schools are promoting sports, because that is the platform where it starts.
that's
Nobody
right.
is a born sports person. So if when the schools support and promote, sports in their school, that's the time the player gets a platform at a higher level. And they have a very important key over there, wherein how they are managing with their studies and sports. So school is something which is a very at the grassroots level, where they assist the students to balance both their academics as well as sports. So I feel that's the school plays an important role as well in shaping up the child as a sports person.
Yes, it's the your initial foundation, right? When you go to school, so it's a very important role that it plays. So, Chaitrali, tell me, when did you realize, or when did you know that this is something that you want to do professionally? That sports is your calling. That this is going to be your profession.
Uh, Obviously, as I said, sports has always been my passion, and my interest was in sport. But then, during my time, cricket was not, so much, I mean, did not progress the way it has for women cricketers. So I used to play. I was an athlete. I was into basketball, and when cricket started in my school, and they appointed me as a captain, and that's where everything started. So as I said, as I mentioned earlier, that the schools play an important role.
Yes.
Actually, let the student do or play the sport that he or she likes, because that's the time where you need the freedom to know what you really want to do. And a big support from my family, where my dad stood up and said, no problem, though cricket is prominently a male game, but then if my daughter wants to play, I will really support. So gradually I started playing, and I developed obviously the qualities that a cricketer needs. And since then, cricket has been with me, and I'm being with cricket wherever there is cricket in the UAE. Also, now when I came here, I have been with cricket. Actually, it was not at all. I mean, I had no clue that I would be attached with cricket after coming to UAE. I came to UAE because of work,
Yes.
and the sooner I realized, or I came to know that there is cricket, honestly, I just went for it. I got enrolled. I played for UAE for almost 3-4 years. I was the vice captain of the UAE women's team, and just the smallest injury, took me off playing. And still, I am happy, and I am really, I feel really great that I can give to cricket. Uh, though I could not play for longer format.
Yes.
So yeah, so I think everything begins as a child, and what you do in childhood is something that you would continue doing in your for the ages of life.
Yes, no, absolutely. What you do in your childhood and what are your passions, and you're able to make a career out of your passion, which is just so envious, actually, Chaitrali. I will come back to asking you about your most memorable match or memory, but I want to ask that question to Annika first. Um, Annika, which is, and you're a budding cricketer. You were the first girl to play in or there were no other girls playing cricket in your school, right? You were the first girl in the team. So there's so many firsts
Yeah.
for you, um, which is commendable. So tell me, what would you so far? Do you have a favorite memory? Do you have a favorite match, or there's something which you would like to share with us?
My favorite match is probably when we played, I think it was one league match in Sharjah Cricket Stadium. Firstly, because it was the place where Sachin scored like lots of runs and he had a memorable uh, innings, but also because I scored quite a few runs over there and I took one catch, which I'm really proud of. Um, yeah, so I think that was my favorite uh, match.
Okay. I mean, I ask a lot of professional sports players when they're playing for the country, etc., what their favorite matches, and they always talk about the matches that they played when they were in school, as their favorite match. It's just amazing. So Chaitrali, your favorite cricket memory? I'm sure there are lots, but there's something you would like to share with us.
I would like to share something, during my childhood when I started playing cricket, and then, I played for the school, for the nationals. And I used to play, I started practicing with a club, and they used to play a lot of matches. You must have seen there is Azad Maidan and
Yes.
Cross Maidan, where, a lot of matches are going on and you don't know who is playing where, what. And I used to play with the boys that time. And my dad used to come to watch matches. And every match that I used to play well, he used to treat me with Gannika juice. And, that was really refreshing and something that, would put a smile on my face, because that's an appreciation from my father. And that was something that always was with me, till date. I remember that my dad used to, I used to hold his finger, and, he used to take me to Ganne wala and say, okay, this is your.
Oh, what a memory. It's brought a smile to my face also. Your father holding your hand. So father, for most girls, he's the first man in your life, and he's your
Absolutely.
first hero, right?
Yes.
And I have for me, my father is a big hero, and he's helped me a lot. And today, what I am, a lot in my professional life, he's really guided me. So even my favorite childhood memories, he will always be there. But it really
Yeah.
brought a smile to my face. And Anika, ganne ka juice is sugarcane juice.
Yeah, I knew
I don't know
that.
if you get that in Dubai, but I'm sure in your visits to India, you've had an opportunity to have sugarcane juice. Okay, so this question is for the both of you, and maybe Chaitrali, you can go first. Which are the two sportswomen you admire?
First, I like Meg Lanning, um, the captain of Australia team. I mean, the way she has been winning tournaments, the way she's been on the field, off the field. I mean, it's just amazing. It can set an example to many budding cricketers. And then secondly is, yes, Anju Jain, who's been a very capable uh, leader, I would say. Yes, captain, player, and many tournaments they have won under her belt. And she has not only been just a player, a mentor, a coach, a guide, and she is one of my favorites. So these are
Yes,
my two.
she's also one of my favorites, and I had the privilege of having her on this show as well. I think I don't know if you saw that episode, but yeah, she's wonderful. A lot of admiration for her.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Yes, yes. Anika, which are the two sportswomen that you admire?
I think Serena Williams is the first one. Not only because she's one of the greatest female tennis players of all time, but I think she suffered lots of discrimination because of her race, and the way she doesn't really care what people think about her. And when she went off and she had a child and she came back to tennis, I think that was uh, quite amazing how she did that.
And do you have another sportswoman?
Um, I think Abby Wambach, she used to play for the US women's national football team, and she was one, I think, in my opinion, one of the best female footballers of all time. She was just amazing on the pitch, and then again, she suffered from some discrimination and hate off the field, but then again, she had that I don't care attitude, which is quite amazing in my opinion.
Yes, actually, a lot of sports women and even men, I'm sure, they suffer from this discrimination, and it anyway it takes a lot of courage to, and there's so much work that a sports person puts in. But just to fight this and prove yourself, I think it just takes so much courage. And yes, a lot of admiration for both these women, Anika. Um, okay, before we move to the fun section of this talk, which is the rapid fire round, I have one last question for both of you, and I think this is the basis for doing this show and this talk as well. So, Chaitrali, I'd like to start by asking you, what is the message that you would like to give to young girls out there to actually look at sports, take up sports, and look at sports as a career?
What I was saying is, that enjoy whatever you're doing, have fun, be happy, and the success would follow you. And for the youngsters also, because I know, the young players, they generally think of getting results quickly. So what I feel is they first need to enjoy the freedom that they have to play any sport, because every sport have their own qualities, and learn the game, uh, and just enjoy what you've been doing. That's it.
Yes, what an important message, right? Enjoy the game because the youngsters want to win very fast. Uh, so enjoy the journey, as we used to be told when we were growing up. Um, Anika, as a young
Uh,
sports girl,
I
what is
think
the message?
enjoying the game is again one of the most important things, because if you're not enjoying it, then you shouldn't be playing it. You should only do stuff that makes you happy. And if you're doing it for someone else, or you're just playing because for the sake of it, like there's no point. And just do something else that you really like. One thing I guess, especially for girls, would be just be brave in whatever sport you're doing. I remember when I was playing with the boys first, I was quite scared, not only because they were like physically quite strong and stuff, it was because I was the only girl, and then I was like very scared on what other people would think. I was worried because there was no one else like me around. So I think just being brave and just knowing what you're capable of and just doing that, implementing it, whether it's on the field or in practice, I think that's very important.
Being brave. That's the message I'm taking from you, Anika, today. Good. So now we have come to the rapid fire round. Are we good to go?
Yeah.
So I have 5 words for you. I have them here with me. And when I say the word, you need to tell me what comes into your mind. So maybe when I say the word Chaitrali, you can say what comes into your mind first, and then Anika can say, and then I will say the second word. Okay? Good to go?
Yep.
Okay, great. The first word is food.
Homemade fried fish.
Okay. Okay, great. Anika,
I just thought roti.
your mother is a gourmet cook. I don't know, and the viewers, please, you have to follow this Instagram account called Rolling Pin Dubai. Her mother is a gourmet cook, and this is what she says. Okay, great. Um, the second word is hobby.
Cooking.
Ah, okay. We have another cook in our midst. Oh my God. Okay, Anika, hobby?
Uh, Playing music or just playing any instrument.
Oh, so this is another connection that you and I have. We will talk about this after the call, after this conversation. Um, okay. Bowling or batting?
Batting.
Anika?
Batting.
Okay. Worst exercise?
Push-ups.
Okay.
I would say push-ups as well.
Okay. Neither of you said burpees. I would put burpees worse than push-ups. But okay, because burpees have that push-up as well. Okay. The last word is holiday.
Auckland.
Oh, okay. Anika?
I would say New York.
Aha, the
Mhm.
Big Apple. Wow. Okay, both cities I would love to go right now, but unfortunately we're all stuck here. Uh, but thank you so much. I really, really enjoyed this conversation and so many takeaways from both of you. I'm sure the viewers will find this conversation as interesting and fun as I did. You can find this talk on my YouTube channel, hashtag ziptofitness, on my podcast channel on Spotify and Apple iTunes, Zip Talks, and on my Instagram page, Zip2Fitness. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us on board.
Thank you.